But this one hurried out without any constructability review, in my judgment, my opinion. And it then became vulnerable to 126 change orders. And look at those, 76 of them were reason code 3, which just sounds so onerous. It sounds like just full of mistakes. Design deficiency, parentheses, errors and omissions. I say, wow, we ought to pound the desk and get somebody's butt for that. Unfortunately, we don't have a change order system that also has accountability in terms of incentives or disincentives. That's just a reality. Unless somebody can correct me on that from the district or whatever. It's a reality. We do not have incentives or disincentives and accountability in terms of change orders. District pushes back on some, declines some. That's a given. But for 16 years, here we are. This is where change orders are. And so, and we can analyze this, and I think the breakdown of reason codes and then the categories, you can see that 53 of the change orders, I'm looking again at this detailed summary sheet, 53 of the change orders had to do with change orders between $5,000 and $25,000 each. Okay? 27 of them were over $25,000 each. And there were 117 change orders that were greater than 0. You can see that 9 of them actually involved some credits for the owner-initiated reason code number 2. So I urge us to really look at these. This is a valuable piece of information, in my view, for, as Liz was talking about, looking at patterns, okay? And we started doing this in the last couple of months for the project status report for over 5%. Now, I believe Lisa's going to talk to us about a new program going forward looking at 10%. So this 5% was purely our CBOC thing for purposes of the project status report. Not trying to be anything official about 5%. But anyway, I just had to call that out because this project status report and these accompanying individual sheets are now very, very useful information, I believe, if we really look at them and consider them. And what can we do about it? Not much except illuminate and raise a fuss. And we raise a fuss, then maybe some other things, new things can be done about, you know, trying to prevent going forward having this kind of issue after 16 years with change orders on this project. But I wanted to call that out, and I hope the devil that my CBOC colleagues will be looking for this with the project status report and looking at those detailed backup reports and bringing forth your ideas about how we might look at it differently, perhaps, or bringing forth your reactions to, wow, that's amazing that 76 of those things had to do with design deficiencies. How come that happened? I say it happened largely because it hurried out. But that's just Tom Waller judgment. So anyway, just sorry for the soapbox, but this stuff, I think, is helpful with regard to change orders. Louis, please go ahead with your pictures.
If you look at Powell and Partners Architect, looks like it comes up to like 2.8 million in change orders in terms of their construction plans and designs. And I think they might be the poster child like the school is in terms of they stick out like a sore thumb on each one of the projects that they have, and they tend to exceed everybody else. And you know, when you start to see pattern, motive, design, and some consistency, there's probably some smoke that's there. But they seem to be, I mean, they jump off the page. I just did the numbers in my head, and again, you might want to take a look at it.
I know we're running late, but the other thing we have to look at, and thank you, Orlandis, for pointing that out, because, in fact, that architect, he better be, she, organizationally better be accurate and precise so that it doesn't lend itself to as much change order risk. But, you know, as we look at these percentages, look at this Metalvin. What is that, the one, isn't that the one with the 20-something percent? You know, it was the old one. Well, Well, the Ohlone, yeah, the Ohlone Elementary Playground. But let's be real on this. This is only, quote unquote, an $878,000 contract. Okay, so you're not talking big bucks here. Now, granted, the nickels and the dimes add up to quarters and half dollars and all that stuff. So I think as we analyze this stuff and evaluate this stuff, and we wring our hands and gnash our teeth over 26.4% on this, okay, that's only a couple $100,000. I mean, you got Ohlone up here at 2.4 million, 10 times as much. So I'm just saying, it all matters. The value of the contract, as well as the percentage, as well as the number of change orders, as well as, and then I didn't point out, there's so many darn things. Did you notice, by the way, please notice on these little breakout sheets, unfortunately, and I don't think the district can be proud of this, unfortunately, there are too many of not indicated reason codes. You notice that? Now, Ohlone, the poster child, only has 2, but look at some of these others. 3 of the 5 for Ohlone Portable Removal Playground, again, only $878,000, but 3 of the 5, no reason code indicated. And I've seen others with, now some of these, boy, numbers change, and maybe some of these indications have. Yeah, okay, you guys are taking a look at this?
So we're trying to clean that up, and so one thing you'll notice,
great.
two handouts,
Great.
is those not indicated, or others.
Excellent.
Sorted out and put in their place.
So maybe it does pay to make a fuss, and you get a chance then to go in and clean it up. Because previously, before the cleanup, there were too many not indicated, and it just doesn't work. So,
I think when you see the KPI tonight, you'll see that reduction as well. Okay, thank you.
Just one sentence, I think it might be interesting to look at the timing of the change orders too, in the course of a project, just an idea.
Okay, and one of the requests that you had was trying to include more photos for some of the larger projects. I've added a couple, but knowing the agenda was long tonight, I'm trying to keep it brief, so we'll keep that in mind when we move forward. So tonight, this is the Coronado Elementary School. This is a picture of the King building, or the kindergarten building. This project is moving along very well. It's due to complete the end of May this year. With the good weather we've had, some site work going on, the final painting going on. It's really hard to see in that photo though, is the shade structures around the windows that are treatments to help reduce the glare to the classroom, since this school does not have air conditioning. This is an Eastern project. Again, this is hasn't had a lot of change from the outside, as being a remodel, but it has extensive work to the inside with foundation work that was going on. Here's a picture of the roof. It's all finished on both the north and south buildings. It's tripped with the mechanical units. What you see there are the curbs, which will be for the heating and cooling units that will be going on that facility in the future. On the inside, we've finished finally with the foundation renovations. Floors are going back down, all electrical's been installed in the subfloor. For Ohlone, this is one of the ones that's actually being closed out, so this is the last time you see it on the report. Valley View, this project is actually, we have signed contracts now. We're set to begin construction the 1st of May. And again, I just wanted to, just added to the report tonight. So this is a view of what the temporary campus will actually look like. And that's in the lower right-hand corner where you see the portable buildings. They'll still have access to the multipurpose building once we complete the renovation. And this is due to open up in the fall of this year.
What's the acreage on that property?
I don't have that information with me.
It's a good sized property, it's like 12 to 15 acres.
Yeah, it looks sizable.
Yeah, and it's actually because we own the park that's actually behind that.
Okay.
So that's a very
So
large
you could
park.
expand if you needed to.
Yeah, it used to be maintained by the city, but we took that back about a year and a half ago, and has 2 ball diamonds on it. One of those is currently being used